I found out about my daughter's wedding speech through a video her friend posted on Facebook. She thanked everyone who made her the woman she is today. She called her stepmother the mother who showed her what unconditional love looks like. I wasn't mentioned once. Not once. 25 years of raising her alone, and I'd become invisible. So the next morning, I called the resort and canceled the $15,000, the honeymoon, I'd booked as their wedding gift. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up. My name is Robert Mitchell. I'm 62 years old, and until 4 months ago, I thought I understood what my life had been about. I was wrong. I spent 33 years as a registered nurse at St. Vincent's Hospital in Portland, Oregon. Night shifts, mostly, because they paid 20% more. Not glamorous work, not the kind that makes you rich, but honest. I helped people through their worst moments, held their hands when they were scared. That was enough for me. My ex-wife Amanda left when our daughter Kaylee was 3 years old. No warning, no signs I'd noticed anyway. I came home from a double shift one Tuesday morning in March 1998, and there was a note on the kitchen counter. I can't do this anymore. I need to find myself. Amanda. Her clothes were gone. Her car was gone. Half our savings account was gone. Kaylee was asleep in her room, still in yesterday's pajamas. Amanda moved to California. We got divorced 6 months later. She sent birthday cards for the first 2 years, then nothing. No calls, no visits, no child support, despite the court order. She disappeared completely. Last I heard, she was somewhere in Arizona, remarried. That was 15 years ago. So it was just me and Kaylee, 3 years old, asking every night when Mommy was coming home. Those first months nearly broke me. I'd work the night shift at the hospital, come home at 7 in the morning, sleep for 3 hours while Kaylee was at daycare, pick her up at noon, spend the afternoon and evening with her, put her to bed at 8, sleep another 2 hours, then back to the hospital at 11. I did that for 2 years until I could afford to cut back to 4 nights a week. I cooked her breakfast every morning. Pancakes were her favorite. I braided her hair before school, even though my thick nurse's hands weren't made for it. Those braids were crooked for years before I figured it out. I went to every parent-teacher conference, every school play, every soccer game. I was the only dad in the sea of moms at the elementary school pickup line. When Kaylee was 7, she asked me why she didn't have a mom like the other kids. I told her the truth, age-appropriate version. Sometimes people aren't ready to be parents. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It means they have things to figure out, she cried that night. I held her until she fell asleep. I gave her everything I had. Not money, we never had much of that, but time, attention, stability. I taught her to ride a bike in the parking lot of our apartment complex. I helped her with math homework at the kitchen table every single night. I drove her to soccer practice twice a week for 8 years. Even when I was so tired, I could barely see straight. When Kaylee was 16, she started dating a boy named Connor. Nice kid, polite, played baseball. His parents were wealthy, owned a chain of car dealerships across Oregon and Washington. Big house in the West Hills with a view of Mount Hood. They had a vacation home in Sun River, another one in Palm Springs. I liked Connor well enough, but his mother, Patricia, made her opinions clear from the start. The first time I met her at a baseball game, she looked at my 15-year-old Toyota Camry and asked if I'd had car troubles getting here. At Kaylee's 17th birthday dinner, which I'd saved for months to afford at a nice restaurant, Patricia commented that they usually went to places like this on weeknights when they wanted something casual. Kaylee started spending more and more time at Connor's house. I understood it. They had a pool, a game room, a home theater. I had a 2-bedroom apartment in southeast Portland with thin walls and a radiator that clanked. But every time she came home from there, she seemed a little more distant, a little more aware of what we didn't have. She got into Portland State University with a decent scholarship. Not a full ride, but enough that with my savings and her working part-time, we could make it work. She studied marketing. Connor went to the same school. They moved into an apartment together her junior year. I took extra shifts to help with her rent, worked 5 nights a week again, sometimes 6. I was 56 years old, and the night shifts were harder than they used to be. My knees hurt. My back ached. But Kaylee needed help, and I was her father. That's what fathers do. She graduated in 2019 with honors. I was so proud. I took her to dinner at Jake's, splurged on the nice bottle of wine. She told me Connor was going to propose soon. She was glowing, happy. I was happy for her. Connor proposed on her 24th birthday at his parents' vacation house in Sun River. Big production with roses and a photographer. The ring was 2 carats. I'd seen it in the photos she posted. It cost more than I made in 6 months. The wedding planning started immediately. Patricia took charge. She and Kaylee went dress shopping without telling me. They booked the venue, a luxury resort on the Oregon coast, without asking my input. They hired a wedding planner. Patricia kept saying, "We want this. We decided that." I wasn't part of the we. The wedding was scheduled for September 2024. I asked Kaylee how much she needed from me. She hesitated. "Dad, Connor's parents are paying for most of it. They insist, but if you want to contribute, maybe you could help with the honeymoon?" I'd been saving since she got engaged. Every extra shift, every overtime hour went into a separate account. I had $15,000. I told Kaylee I'd book the honeymoon. She hugged me, said thank you, Daddy, like she used to when she was little. That felt good. I researched for weeks. Found a perfect 2-week package to Bora Bora. Overwater bungalow, all-inclusive, spa treatments, everything. It cost $14,800. I booked it 6 months in advance. The wedding approached. Patricia kept making decisions. She changed the menu without telling anyone. She added 200 more guests to the list. The wedding was no longer Kaylee and Connor's day. It was Patricia's production. I asked Kaylee if she wanted me to walk her down the aisle. She said, "Actually, Connor's mom suggested something different. She thought it might be nice if both you and stepdad gave me away. You know, since she's been such a big part of my life too." Stepdad, Frank, Patricia's husband. He'd been in Kaylee's life for 6 years. Nice enough guy, didn't say much, mostly nodded along with whatever Patricia wanted. But he wasn't her father. He hadn't held her during nightmares, hadn't braided her crooked hair, hadn't worked double shifts so she could have new cleats for soccer. I told Kaylee I thought walking her down the aisle was traditionally a father's role. She sighed. "Dad, please don't make this difficult. Patricia put so much work into this wedding. Can't you just share?" Share. Like being a parent was a timeshare you could split with whoever showed up later with more money. I said, "Okay." I didn't want to be difficult. The week before the wedding, I got my tuxedo altered. Navy blue, because Patricia said navy matched the color scheme better than black. I bought new shoes. I wanted to look good in the photos. This was my daughter's wedding day. The wedding was on a Saturday in September at the Salishan Resort. I drove down Friday afternoon, checked into the small room I'd booked at a cheaper hotel 10 miles away. The resort rooms were $400 a night. I couldn't afford that. Saturday morning, I put on my tuxedo. Navy blue, perfectly pressed, new shoes, polished until they shined. I looked at myself in the mirror. 62 years old, gray at the temples, deeper lines around my eyes than I remembered. But I looked good, proud. I got to the resort at 2. The ceremony started at 4. I found Kaylee in the bridal suite. She was surrounded by bridesmaids, makeup artists, Patricia directing everything like a field general. "Hey, sweetheart," I said. "You look beautiful." She did. The dress was stunning, probably cost more than my car. Her hair was perfect, her makeup flawless. She looked like a princess. My little girl, all grown up. "Thanks, Dad." She smiled, but it was distracted. Patricia was talking to her about the timing of the processional. "I just wanted to give you this," I said. I handed her an envelope. "What is it?" "Your honeymoon details. Bora Bora, 2 weeks, everything paid for. You leave Monday morning." Kaylee opened the envelope, read the itinerary. Her eyes widened. "Dad, this is too much. You're my daughter. Nothing's too much." She hugged me. "Thank you. Really, this is amazing." Patricia glanced over. "Robert, we need to discuss the processional. You'll walk on the left side, Frank on the right. Stop at the end of the aisle, kiss her cheek, then both of you step back simultaneously. We've practiced this with Frank. Practiced? At the rehearsal yesterday. You weren't there. I was working. I took today off, but I couldn't get yesterday too. Patricia pursed her lips. Well, Frank knows what to do. Just follow his lead. The ceremony began at 4. I stood in the hallway with Frank, both of us waiting. Kaylee came out of the bridal suite. She looked nervous, excited, beautiful. You ready, sweetheart? I asked. Yeah, I think so. The music started. Frank took her left arm. I took her right. We walked down the aisle together. 200 people watching. The venue was beautiful. All white flowers and soft lighting. The ocean was visible through the floor-to-ceiling windows. We reached the end of the aisle. Connor was standing there, smiling. I kissed Kaylee's cheek. Frank kissed her other cheek. We both stepped back. I went to my seat in the front row. Frank went to his seat next to Patricia. The ceremony happened. Traditional vows, exchange of rings, the kiss. Everyone applauded. They were married. My daughter was married. The reception was in the resort's grand ballroom. 300 people, since Patricia had added more to the list. A band was playing. The food was catered by some famous Portland chef. Everything was elegant, expensive, perfect. Dinner was served. I sat at a table near the back with some of Kaylee's college friends I'd never met. Patricia had done the seating chart. The family table, right up front, had Connor's parents, his siblings, his grandparents. And Frank, I wasn't at the family table. The toasts began after dinner. Connor's best man went first, told some funny stories. The maid of honor went next, cried happy tears. Then Patricia stood up. I'm not usually one for speeches, she began, which was ironic because she talked constantly. But today is so special, I have to say something. Connor, you found the perfect partner. Kaylee, you've become like a daughter to me over these past 6 years. Watching you grow into this incredible woman has been such a joy. People applauded. Patricia continued. I remember when you and Connor first started dating. You were this bright, ambitious teenager with so much potential. And now, look at you. A college graduate, a marketing professional, a beautiful bride. Frank and I are so proud of you. More applause. Patricia raised her glass. To the happy couple. Everyone drank. Patricia sat down. I waited. Surely Kaylee would say something. Surely she'd thank everyone, including me. But the dancing started. First dance for the couple. Then Kaylee danced with Connor's father. Then with Frank. Then the DJ announced, and now, the bride will share a special dance with the mother figure who raised her. The mother figure who raised her. Kaylee walked over to Patricia. They moved to the center of the dance floor. The song playing was The Best by Tina Turner. They danced, Patricia spinning Kaylee around. Everyone was watching, smiling. The photographer was taking pictures. I sat at my table in the back. My hands were gripping the edge of the chair. I couldn't breathe right. After the dance, Kaylee took the microphone. This was it. This was when she'd thank everyone, including me. I just want to say thank you to everyone who came today, she began. Her voice was happy, bright. This day has been absolutely perfect. Better than I ever dreamed. First, thank you to my amazing husband. She smiled at Connor. I can't believe I get to spend the rest of my life with you. Connor blew her a kiss. Thank you to Connor's family for welcoming me with open arms. You've treated me like I've always been part of your family. I sat up straighter. This was it. And I want to especially thank Patricia. Kaylee's voice caught with emotion. Tricia, you've been so much more than Connor's mom to me. You've been a mentor, a friend, and honestly, the mother figure I needed. You showed me what unconditional love looks like. You taught me about grace, about elegance, about standing up for myself. You've supported me, guided me, believed in me. I wouldn't be the woman I am today without you. The room erupted in applause. People were crying. Patricia was crying. She stood up, and Kaylee walked over to her. They hugged. The photographer captured it all. Kaylee continued, thanking the bridesmaids, the wedding planner, the venue staff. She thanked Connor's friends who've become my friends too. She thanked her college roommate who helped me move into my first apartment. She never mentioned me. Not once. Not my father who raised me. Not my dad who worked night shifts. Not even the man who walked me down the aisle. Nothing. I sat there in the back in my navy tuxedo with my polished shoes. The room was spinning. I felt hot, then cold. My chest hurt. The speech ended. More applause. The dancing continued. I stood up slowly. My legs felt unsteady. I needed air. I walked out of the ballroom, down the hallway, out to the parking lot. The ocean was right there, waves crashing. September on the Oregon coast. The air was cold. I stood there, just breathing. My phone was in my pocket. I pulled it out, opened Facebook, without really thinking about it. Kaylee's friend, Stephanie, had already posted a video. The most beautiful speech by the bride. I watched it, heard Kaylee's voice saying the mother figure I needed. Heard the part about Patricia showing her unconditional love. Heard everything she said. Heard everything she didn't say. 25 years. I'd raised her for 25 years, alone, working night shifts, missing sleep, giving up everything, and I was invisible. I walked to my car, drove back to my hotel, took off the navy tuxedo, sat on the bed in my undershirt and dress pants. The room was small, dim. I could hear the people in the next room watching TV. On the nightstand was a folder, the honeymoon reservation details. Bora Bora, Overwater Bungalow, 2 weeks, $14,800. Every extra shift I'd worked for 18 months. I picked up my phone, called the resort's customer service line. Hi, I need to cancel a reservation. The next morning, Sunday, I drove back to Portland. Didn't go to the farewell brunch at the resort. Didn't say goodbye. I texted Kaylee. Had to get back for a work emergency. Congratulations. Monday morning, my phone rang. Kaylee, Dad? What's going on? What do you mean? The resort in Bora Bora just called. They said our reservation was canceled? That's correct. What? Why? Dad, we're supposed to fly out this afternoon. You should talk to Patricia. I'm sure she can help you figure something out. Dad, what are you talking about? You booked the honeymoon. You gave me the envelope. Was there a problem with the payment? No problem. I canceled it. Silence. Then, you canceled our honeymoon? Our wedding gift? I reconsidered the investment. Investment? Dad, this isn't funny. Connor and I took 2 weeks off work. We have plane tickets. We thought everything was set. You have plane tickets to Bora Bora, but no hotel. That's unfortunate. I'm sure Patricia can help. She seems very good at planning things. Is this because of something at the wedding? Dad, if I forgot to thank you in my speech, I'm sorry. It was overwhelming. There were so many people to thank. You thanked the wedding planner, Kaylee. You thanked the venue staff. You specifically thanked Patricia as the mother figure you needed. You had time to thank everyone except the person who actually raised you. Oh my God. This is about the speech? Seriously? This is about 25 years of being invisible to you. I'm not having this conversation right now. I just got married. You're ruining what should be the happiest time of my life. I hope you and Connor have a wonderful life together. I really do. But I'm done funding it. You can't just cancel our honeymoon. I already did. The resort gave me a full refund since I canceled more than 72 hours before check-in. This is insane. What am I supposed to tell Connor? Tell him the truth. Tell him your father. The one who raised you alone for 25 years. The one who worked night shifts so you could have a decent life. The one who paid for your honeymoon wasn't worth mentioning in your wedding speech. So he decided to invest his money elsewhere. Dad, I hung up. My hands were shaking. I'd never hung up on her before. Never. The phone rang again immediately. I declined the call. It rang again. I turned it off. I went to work that night, put on my scrubs, went to the hospital, did my job, helped a woman through labor, sat with an elderly man who was scared before surgery, did what I'd always done. When I got home Tuesday morning, I had 47 missed calls. Kaylee, Connor, Patricia, even Frank. Dozens of text messages. From Kaylee. Dad, please call me back. We need to talk about this. From Connor. Robert, I think there's been a misunderstanding. Can we discuss this? Like adults? From Patricia. Your behavior is absolutely unacceptable. You're punishing these children because of your own insecurities. I didn't respond to any of them. Wednesday, there was a knock on my apartment door. I opened it. Kaylee was standing there. She looked exhausted, angry, confused. "Can I come in?" I stepped aside. She came in, looked around the apartment. The same two-bedroom place we'd lived in since she was 3. The same worn couch. The same kitchen table. "You've been living like this?" she asked. "For 30 years? Yes. I didn't realize it was this small. You haven't been here in 2 years, Kaylee." She sat down on the couch. "Dad, please, you have to understand." The speech was hard. I was nervous. I had a list of people to thank, and I didn't think about it like that. "You didn't think about mentioning your father." "It's not that I didn't think about you. Patricia helped so much with the wedding. She planned everything. She paid for everything. She was right there. And you were working. You were always working. I was working to pay for your life. I know that. I do. But Connor's family has been so generous. They bought us a house, Dad. Did you know that? They gave us a house as a wedding gift. A whole house in Bethany. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. They just handed us the keys. That's wonderful for you. See, this is what you do. You get bitter. You make me feel guilty for having nice things. I don't care about the nice things, Kaylee. I care that after everything I gave you, you didn't think I was worth mentioning. But Patricia, who's known you for 6 years, gets called your mother figure. She's been important to me, more important than the person who raised you, who held you every night when you cried for your mom, who taught you to read, who drove you to soccer practice 800 times, who worked overnight shifts for 25 years so you could have food and clothes and college. Kaylee was crying now. I'm grateful, Dad. I am. But you can't hold that over my head forever. I'm not holding it over your head. I'm just done pretending it doesn't hurt. You made your choice clear at that wedding. Patricia is your family now. That's fine, but I'm not funding your life anymore. So what, you're just going to abandon me? Like Mom did? That hit hard. I felt it in my chest. I'm not abandoning you. I'm letting you go. There's a difference. It doesn't feel different. Your mother left you when you were 3, with no explanation and never came back. I've been here every single day for 25 years. If you can't see the difference, then I've failed even more than I thought. She stood up. Patricia was right. You are bitter and resentful. Patricia has known you for 6 years, during which time you were an adult with money from her son. She's never changed your diapers, never stayed up all night when you had the flu, never chosen between paying rent or buying you new shoes. She's not your mother, Kaylee. She's your mother-in-law who likes you because you make her son happy. You're unbelievable. I probably am. But I'm done apologizing for not being able to compete with people who have money. She left, slammed the door. I stood in my apartment, same place I'd stood 1,000 times before, and felt empty. 2 weeks later, I did something I hadn't done in decades. I started therapy. My insurance through the hospital covered 8 sessions. I went every Wednesday afternoon. Dr. Martinez was in her 50s, kind eyes, patient. She listened to the whole story. At the 4th session, she asked me, "What do you want from this situation?" "I don't know. Do you want Kaylee to apologize?" "Maybe. Yes. I don't know. I want her to understand what she did. And if she never does?" I didn't have an answer. Dr. Martinez leaned forward. "Robert, you've spent 25 years being someone's everything. Their provider, their protector, their parent, and now you need to figure out who you are when you're not that anymore." That hit something in me. I cried in that session. First time I'd cried since Amanda left. I started making changes, small ones. I joined a gym near my apartment, started working out 3 mornings a week. I asked to move to day shifts at the hospital. They had an opening, better hours, same pay. I went to a support group for single parents. Turned out there was a whole group of us, people who'd raised kids alone and were now trying to figure out life after. I met a woman there named Linda, 58, had raised 3 boys alone after her husband died. She understood. We got coffee after one of the meetings, then dinner. Then we started seeing each other regularly. Linda didn't have money either. But she had warmth. She laughed easily. She liked hiking, which I'd never had time for. We started going on weekend hikes together. 3 months after the wedding, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in a better neighborhood. Nicer place, more expensive, but I could afford it now that I wasn't saving for anyone else. Linda helped me decorate. We picked out new furniture together. A comfortable couch, a real bed, not the 20-year-old one I'd had. For the first time in my adult life, I was living for myself. 4 months after the wedding, Kaylee called. I almost didn't answer, but I did. Hey, Dad. Hello, Kaylee. How are you? I'm well. You? I'm okay. I wanted to tell you something. Connor and I are going to Bora Bora next month. That's good. Yeah. His parents paid for it. They felt bad about the honeymoon situation. I see. Silence. Dad, I've been thinking a lot about what happened, about what you said, and I talked to my therapist about it. She paused. I didn't realize how much I took you for granted. Growing up, you were just always there. I never thought about what that meant, what you gave up. And when Connor's family came into my life with all their money and opportunities, I got caught up in it. They made everything feel easy. I didn't say anything. I'm sorry I didn't mention you in my speech. I'm sorry I didn't see you, really see you. Patricia is nice, and she did help with the wedding, but she's not my parent. You are. You've always been. Thank you for saying that. Do you think we could have dinner sometime? If you're willing? I'd like to try to fix this. I thought about it. Dr. Martinez had asked me what I wanted. I still wasn't sure. But I knew what I didn't want. I didn't want to stay angry forever. Maybe, I said. But not yet. I'm not ready yet. Okay, I understand. I'll wait. You do that. We hung up. I sat in my new apartment. Linda was coming over in an hour. We were going to cook dinner together, watch a movie. She'd offered to bring her famous lasagna. I looked around my apartment. New furniture. Plants on the windowsill that Linda had picked out. Photos on the wall of places I'd been recently. Multnomah Falls, Crater Lake, the coast. I thought about Kaylee's apology. It was real. I believed that. But apologies don't erase 25 years of being unseen. They don't undo the pain of that wedding speech. They're a start, maybe, but only a start. The doorbell rang. Linda, right on time. She came in with a smile, carrying a dish covered in foil. Hey, handsome. Ready to eat? Starving. We ate dinner. We laughed. We talked about our days. She told me about her sons, about the grandson she'd just seen. I told her about a patient I'd helped that week. It was simple, easy, comfortable. Later that night, after Linda went home, I thought about everything. 25 years of sacrifice. One wedding speech that changed everything. A canceled honeymoon. A new life. I'd learned something important. Something it took 62 years to understand. You can give someone everything you have. You can sacrifice, work, pour yourself out completely. You can be there for every moment, every milestone, every need. But if they don't see you, if they take you for granted, if they value what you provide more than who you are, then at some point, you have to choose yourself. Even if it's the hardest thing you've ever done, even if it feels like giving up, it's not giving up. It's letting go. And sometimes, letting go is the only way to save yourself. That's what I did. I let go. I chose myself. And for the first time in 25 years, I was happy.